It's honestly hard to believe this, but 2016 was 10 years ago. Think about that for a second. Back in 2016, the world felt very different. A reality TV billionaire shocked everyone by becoming president of the United States, setting the country on a path that many would argue changed things for the worse. On the big screen, Captain America: Civil War ruled the box office, split the Avengers and fans down the middle, and gave us our first look at Black Panther and Spider-Man in the MCU. On television, Netflix launched what would become one of its biggest shows ever when Stranger Things premiered, instantly turning 80s nostalgia into a global phenomenon. For sports fans, 2016 marked the end of an era, as both Peyton Manning and Kobe Bryant retired. Peyton played the final game of his NFL career in Super Bowl 50, winning it all as the Denver Broncos defeated the Carolina Panthers, while Kobe closed out his legendary NBA career earlier that year with a 60-point final game. That same year, baseball history was made when the Chicago Cubs won the World Series, ending a 108-year championship drought. And on the music charts? Justin Bieber's "Love Yourself" was absolutely everywhere. But while all of that was happening, something special was going on in the video game industry. In 2016, the PlayStation 4 was dominating the console market, and the release of the PS4 Pro only made that dominance even stronger, offering better performance and a more enjoyable experience. Xbox was still struggling to find its footing with the Xbox One, and the Wii was definitely on its way out. Meanwhile, Nintendo was quietly gearing up for their next console, set to release the following year, a system that would ultimately save the company and reshape its future. Despite the shifting landscape, 2016 delivered some truly unforgettable video games. New franchises were born, beloved series returned with major sequels, and some games released that year went on to shape the industry for the next decade. Now here we are in 2026, and it's wild to realize that these games are officially 10 years old. 10 years since we first played them. 10 years since they made us laugh, rage, cry, and stay up way too late saying, "Just one more hour." So today, let's take a trip back in time. Here are the video games that will officially turn 10 years old in 2026. One of 2016's most memorable games has to be Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. This was the fourth installment in the Uncharted series, and in my opinion, one of the best games that year. Once again, you step into the shoes of Nathan Drake for his final adventure. The story, the visuals, the gameplay, everything comes together perfectly, making it a fitting conclusion to Drake's journey. Uncharted 4 isn't just the end of Nathan Drake's story, it's also one of the standout games of 2016, and it's sure to remain a fan favorite for years to come. Overwatch. Another one of 2016's biggest games has to be Overwatch. This game was considered one of the best of the year and even won multiple Game of the Year awards. It was the first multiplayer hero shooter of its kind, letting you play as a variety of unique characters, each with their own abilities and playstyles. Overwatch was incredibly fun, and millions of people played it, making it one of the standout games of 2016 and a fan favorite that's still remembered today. Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 absolutely dominated 2016 and stood out as one of the most popular first-person shooters of the year. The game dropped players straight into the chaos of World War I, delivering massive battles, explosive moments, and jaw-dropping visuals. With its cinematic war stories and intense multiplayer, Battlefield 1 wasn't just a shooter, it was an unforgettable experience and easily one of the best FPS games of 2016. Persona 5. Persona 5 isn't just one of the best JRPGs of 2016, it's one of the most iconic JRPGs of all time. In this game, you play as Joker, a high school student who's falsely accused of assault and sent to a new school while on probation. But this isn't your typical school story. Over the course of a full school year, Joker and several other students awaken to powerful alter egos called personas. Together, they become the Phantom Thieves of Hearts, a secret group of vigilantes who dive into twisted, supernatural palaces to steal the hearts of corrupt adults and expose their crimes. What made Persona 5 stand out instantly was its style. The UI, the music, the visuals, everything just popped. On top of that, the turn-based RPG combat felt fast, flashy, and incredibly satisfying, making every battle feel exciting instead of slow. Now here's the wild part. Persona 5 originally released only in Japan in September 2016. It didn't go worldwide until 2017, Doom, 2016. is one of the most beloved first-person shooters of its generation. The game marked the return of the franchise with a full reboot, originally known as Doom 4, but instead of losing what made the series special, id Software brought Doom back to its roots. Rather than following modern shooter trends, Doom 2016 revived the franchise as a fast-paced, aggressive FPS, staying true to the spirit of the classic games. With its intense action, smart environmental storytelling, and surprisingly solid multiplayer, Doom didn't just come back, it came back strong, cementing itself as one of the best FPS games of 2016. Gears of War 4. The fourth installment in the Gears of War series, Gears of War 4, was released in 2016, just in time to celebrate the franchise's 10-year anniversary. This time around, the game introduced a new main character, J.D. Phoenix, the son of the legendary Marcus Phoenix. Players faced off against a new enemy known as the Swarm, a terrifying threat that evolved from the Locust. At the same time, Gears of War 4 brought back Marcus Phoenix and reunited him with familiar faces, mixing classic characters with a new generation as they fought to survive this new war. Gears of War 4 became one of the Xbox One's most popular games in 2016, and it helped re-establish the franchise for a new era. One of 2016's biggest brand new IPs was Tom Clancy's The Division. This online action RPG is set in a near-future New York City after a devastating pandemic brings society to its knees. You play as a special agent of the strategic Homeland Division, tasked with restoring order as gangs and factions take over the city in the aftermath of the outbreak. The game features a massive open-world version of New York, transformed into a post-apocalyptic disaster zone. Players could explore iconic landmarks like Madison Square Garden, Grand Central Station, and many other recognizable parts of the city while fighting to reclaim New York street by street. The Division stood out as one of the best online action RPGs of 2016, and it remains a fan favorite even today, with players still jumping back in on modern consoles. Dark Souls 3. Another massive release in 2016 was Dark Souls 3, the third entry in From Software's legendary action RPG series. Known for its brutal difficulty and deep lore, Dark Souls 3 pushed players to their limits with challenging enemies, intense boss fights, and a dark, haunting world to explore. The combat felt faster and more refined than previous entries, making every victory feel earned. For longtime fans, Dark Souls 3 served as a fitting conclusion to the Dark Souls trilogy, bringing together ideas and themes from the earlier games while delivering some of the most memorable boss battles in the series. Dark Souls 3 was one of the most acclaimed games of 2016, and even 10 years later, it's still remembered as a high point for the franchise and for action RPGs as a whole. Call of Duty. Infinite Warfare is often considered one of the most hated Call of Duty games of all time, mainly because of its heavy focus on jetpacks and futuristic movement. But honestly, I actually enjoyed it. To me, it felt more interesting than going back to another World War II setting, and it offered something different from the usual formula. Where the game really shined was its story campaign. The space setting, characters, and emotional moments made it one of the stronger campaigns in the series, in my opinion. So while Infinite Warfare gets a lot of hate, it's not one I agree with. For me, this game ranks up there with some of my favorite Call of Duty entries. And hey, that's just my opinion, it's totally okay to like or dislike a game. That's what makes gaming discussions fun. So those are some of the video games that will officially turn 10 years old in 2026. It's wild to think about how much time has passed and how big of an impact these games had on the industry, and on us as players. Whether you love them, hated them, or still play them today, these games helped define an entire era of gaming. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, make sure to hit the like button, let me know in the comments which 2016 game was your favorite, and don't forget to subscribe for more gaming content. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later.